I must thank you also for the distinction that you have conferred on me. When we joined the university, we were in the midst of a crisis. Minister Iriyagolla had decided to separate the Colombo campus from Peradeniya, which was then the University of Ceylon. And a strike went on for 3 months as to what should we be called, whether it be called University of Ceylon, Colombo and University of Ceylon, Peradeniya. But finally, the authorities decided that Peradeniya will be the University of Ceylon and we will be the University of Colombo. Now, all of us were offered the option of taking a degree either from, we are the first lot, either from the University of Ceylon or from the University of Colombo. I was among the large numbers who decided no, we will take it from the University of Colombo. This is where we studied and we will make it the best university. In a way, thankful that the name University of Colombo was given to us, because in time to come the University of Ceylon name disappeared. But we have to place on record the immense contribution that the University of Ceylon made both at Peradeniya and Colombo to the then independent Sri Lanka, Ceylon. Much of our thinking, much of our literature were all formed by what took place in that university. Looking back, I think we've achieved the goal of being the best university. I myself, as I mentioned earlier in one article, when I've been abroad, people have asked me from which university I passed out in UK, and I had to tell them I didn't attend any university in UK. I just did my first degree in the University of Colombo. We were lucky with the lecturers. We had the Professor Nadraja and also at the same time the Vice Chancellor. Looking back, when we brought in the Universities Act, I happened to be one of those who were involved in its drafting. We envisaged the start of the return to the individual universities rather than have one common federal university. And the Universities Act and the Universities Grant Commission was at that time enacted to ensure that there is support. Now, looking back, I just wonder, on one hand, while we are satisfied that we are the leading university in Sri Lanka, where are we in the global ranking? Where are we in the Asian ranking? And that's an issue that really bothers me as to where we can go and where we should go. Today morning I had the opportunity of addressing the Skills Expo 2023, and what I pointed out there, we have only one asset, a human asset, and we are now entering a knowledge economy. Then we have to ensure the full development, the personality, which is by having the most modern education system. At the moment, to say the least, our education system is at least 10 years behind time, if not 15 years. So we have to go forward. I am not talking of all that has to be done, but one of the areas that we focused on are the universities. What do we do with the university system? There are a number of universities, including state universities, which are outside the UGC, and then we will be encouraging more non-state universities to start in Sri Lanka. Then what are we going to do and how are you going to tackle the issue of the UGC universities? Firstly, I think the UGC powers have to be redefined and reduced. But what do you do with these universities? Do we go as universities which have been gazetted under the Universities Act, or are we looking at how we are going to develop these universities to a much higher standards? So those are the questions that have been concerning me, and I thought I should share with you. When I did meet the Vice Chancellor earlier, I mentioned to him, why don't we have the University of Colombo enacted by a separate act? We were enacted, the University of Colombo was enacted in 1967. It was then repealed for the University of Ceylon Act 1972, and thereafter for the Universities Act. But I think there is a case, if the university so agrees, that we should incorporate ourselves under a separate act called the University of Colombo. Then what is the structure you will have? In fact, we've been discussing whether such universities should have a board of regents, of whom some of the members will be elected by the alumni itself. We have to think out of the box of how to develop the university. So the first question is, are we ready, or do we want a separate law passed in respect of the University of Colombo? There may be other universities that may make the request. What does the University of Colombo and its alumni want? Think of this proposal. Secondly is the question of land. I am told that there isn't sufficient accommodation in the Colombo present Reed Avenue campus. I still think there are a few buildings towards Bullers Road that still can be abolished, and you can put a 4 or 5 story building. And more than that, the decision has been to go to Homagama, to Diyagama. I don't see the need why we should go to Diyagama. That is closer to the University of Sri Jawaddhanapura. And there is a proposal that to start the University of Sitawaka there. So, let's look at, I am prepared to ensure that we can get some land in Colombo. It may not be 5-6 acres, but an acre and a half would be sufficient if you put a 10 or a 15 story building, where we have to save land and we have to go up. I think that to me is the most important one, and then the swimming pool. The swimming pool is something I promised earlier, but we have to look at space, and I think it should be in Colombo. I'm sure the UDA will be able to find an acre and a half for another building for another site. After all, you have got one section down Kinsey Road and another one down Thurston Road. If I not have a third site also for the University of Colombo. But then let's look at how this university can be developed to a higher standard. How are we going to do this? It's partly the responsibility of the academia, other is the responsibility of the alumni. Why shouldn't we get together and prepare a 10-year plan for the development of the University of Colombo? But if there is a plan, then there will certainly be the help to develop it. How are we going to tackle some of the questions? What about our postgraduate studies? These are all issues that we have to address, and I feel the alumni should take the initiative, talk with the university and establish a committee which could prepare a report on the Colombo University in the next 10 years. Now, we are going through a knowledge revolution. We are going through a time when the whole system of teaching is changing. The technology that have brought us, COVID has seen online education. On the other hand, what will be the impact of artificial intelligence in this process? Do you even need exams? That's a question that we have to think, and we have to find the answer. So, I would suggest that the Alumni Association should do this. And then the last one is to strengthen the Alumni Association. We have, I think, must be having over 10,000 members or more. Why don't you get all of them in? Many of them are serving in different capacities. I meet them. I think we should, the Alumni Association should be certainly expand and get more members. Now, if you are willing to do this, or you come up with a good alternate suggestion, certainly I will ensure that the government is willing to help. But it's a journey, are you all willing to take? Are you all willing to go down this road? If you are willing to help, because at the moment we have to innovate in education, especially in regard to our universities and how we are going ahead. So, let us put our thinking caps together and see what you can do in regard to the Colombo University. If you wait too long, another university and its alumni may overtake you. So, I don't want to take any more of your time, but I wanted to share my thoughts on the future of the university at this stage, and also ask you to make preparations for the next 10 years the way you would like the university to develop. So, let me thank you again for the patient hearing and for inviting me to this august occasion. Thank you.